It's Monday evening, it's the 28th of August 2023, and we've come down to the Paseo Maritimo in Palma. We're going to have a little walk along the front. Give us an opportunity to see how the work has progressed along the way, and also to see if it suffered from the storms that we had over the weekend. So I've got the cruise ship in behind. I don't know if you can see it. It's the P&O cruise, that's the one. It's due to go out within about an hour or so, minus about 320 of the passengers. They have been put into hotels. I'll tell you more about that as we go along. So just noticing here some nice little boats here. Rent me. And the interesting thing about it, it says no license. You don't need a license to hire one of those. Be a little bit of fun to get about on.
Should we go?
Fancy it, darling?
No.
I think we should go on a little boat trip. I think when we see it as calm as this, boat trip will be quite inviting. So it's been quite a weekend for us. On Friday we were in England. Temperature was about 19-20 degrees and we flew from Bournemouth. We did have a bit of a delay, and so it was evening when we got here, but it was really warm when we got into the house. Electricity was off, and that was just a trip switch had tripped. Fortunately, it was nothing serious, and we just switched it back on. And the next morning it was 34 degrees, so we'd gone from 19 degrees to 34 degrees in 12 hours. And later on in the day it got even higher, so it got up to about 36. But then the weather forecast was spot on, and Sunday started bright enough, started okay, but soon the storm came in, and we had a humdinger of a storm. The temperature dropped significantly during the day, and the rain and the wind howled away. The wind and the rain have been responsible for quite a lot of damage throughout the island, and we've already seen lots of trees down. And the ship I was just pointing out in the background, the P&O liner Britannia, had its moorings line broken, and it was just blown across the harbour, flung into a oil tanker. Unfortunately, no damage. Not particularly any damage to either of the boats, except the lifeboats, and it didn't have enough lifeboats to carry on, so the captain of the port here wouldn't let it leave. So the P&O had to do something about it, and their suggestion was, well, we'll take 320 passengers off. So 320 passengers disembark, and the ship is going to be allowed to leave. It's due to leave at about 8 o'clock, which is about an hour's time. So we may or may not catch it, not sure. So the temperature did drop during the day, and into the evening it went down to about 20 degrees. May have gone even lower in the middle of the night. It was about 20 degrees in the morning when I got up, and it made sleeping so much easier than the previous night. That was this morning, and then as the day's gone on, the temperature's just gone back up again, and we've been approaching 30 degrees all day. So those of you who were a bit worried about drops in the temperature, well, it's on the way back up again. This is very normal for this time of the year, end of August, beginning of September, always storms, and the storms bring this, what's referred to as the gota fria, the cold drop. So a drop in the temperature, and there's usually some electric storms. We didn't really, where we were, we didn't get any strong thunder or lightning. Though we did hear it in the distance, I was expecting it to come over. So we were not actually anywhere near the eye of the storm. So some parts of the island must have experienced a lot worse than we did. just walking along, enjoying the boats here, some really big boats. I've not heard of any damage done to any of these, though they will have got a good watering. As the rain came down, it was really squally rain as well, because the wind was blowing in all sorts of directions. I said I was going to say something about the work across the road. Well, I haven't actually pointed you in that direction, but that used to be Tito's across there. Maybe when we're coming back we might walk a bit closer to it. It's now Leo's, and it's going to be one of the top places in Mallorca. So that's something to keep our eye on, I think. I always enjoy walking along the Paseo Maritimo, looking at the lovely boats here. Sometimes you see the fish. Any in there, dear? I'm sure there's loads in there. They might be hiding there. So normally at this time of the year, we've just come back from our summer holidays, and it's preparation for school, getting ready for school, calling into school.
Nice that we haven't got that.
It is, isn't it? It's a huge relief that we haven't actually got to do that preparation, not got to go into school, get the classrooms ready, get all the books ready, get everything sorted out, find out who's going to be in your classes, and yeah, it's quite a nice feeling not to have to do that. And certainly have in the last few days been thinking about my colleagues back at Baleares who are enjoying the last days of their holiday before the autumn term, which is really it's the hard slog. It's when you get the bulk of the work done between now and Christmas, and so they've got a really hard time ahead of them. But I'm sure they're welcoming this drop in temperature. Certainly not very nice when it's really, really hot. Though, of course, Baleares did have air conditioning in all the rooms. It's a private school, whereas a lot of the state schools don't. They don't have air conditioning, and that's been in the news recently. Say that parents are complaining that classes need to have air conditioning. How can children work if the temperatures are 30 plus degrees Celsius?
They don't go back till the 11th, so it's time to...
Yeah, they've got a little bit more time. They don't go back till the 11th of September. And their hours tend to be a little bit different, so quite a few of the age groups only really work in the morning. So our two granddaughters, which we're going to be picking up on a different day this year. You have to remind me what day we're picking them up. Monday, right. So on a Monday we'll go and pick them up, and they will finish at 2 o'clock. But they are like primary school. Is that the right term? They're certainly youngsters anyway. And the older ones have even more different times. Just a quick swing over to the other side so you can actually see that the work is still going on and will be going on for quite a lot longer, because that side hasn't finished yet. And they haven't even touched this side. So we can expect another year of mess along the front here. And it's just so difficult for the businesses. I don't know how they can survive, really. I've not read about any aid that's been given by the government. Surely they need it, relief from their council tax at least. I suppose it gives builders an opportunity to do work on apartments and hotels.
live in that, can they?
I don't know. The bottom used to be an Italian restaurant that we used to go to, the Piccola. That's now finished and gone.
New restaurant.
And something
Soon
else
that
is coming soon. Doesn't actually say what, it just says coming soon, new restaurant. Well, I think we chose the right walk. We weren't sure where to go this evening. We wanted somewhere that was going to be in the shade, and so far nearly all of the Paseo Maritimo has been in the shade. So, good choice, dear.
We can stop and have a drink somewhere.
I'm sure we will. So I can see people out cleaning the boats. Though the rain that we had, there's so much of it, does actually seem to have been fairly clean rain. Before we went away, nearly all of the rain we had was mud, and it didn't rain very much. It was just a few spots, but it certainly covered the place with orange Sahara sand. Well, yesterday, whatever the rain was pretty clean, and certainly my car this morning looked clean. Having stood for a month, I was quite amazed when I turned the key and boom, it purred into action.
But you've got a new battery there.
I did have to have a new battery just before we went away. The one I had before died, so new battery. Very straightforward, just to change a battery. And I just bought it from the local supermarket actually. Got the red Palma city sightseeing official double-decker bus there, and we went on it with Indian Freya and thought it was going to be really quite good and interesting, and I don't know if it's because we're locals, but it wasn't. It seemed to go very quickly, actually moving very quickly, and I don't know, there just weren't enough interesting sights on it. And yesterday we did actually, or today I think, we saw a different sightseeing bus, a white one, so I don't know if that's got a different route.
It was called.
Sorry?
City Experience.
That one's called City Experience, yeah. I don't know. I think we were spoilt because I don't know if maybe some of you might have seen, I posted on Facebook a video that we did 10 years ago, was it? We were in Rome, more than 10 years, 13 years ago, and we did the open top bus on there. And Rome is just one of those most amazing places where every corner that you go around there's something magnificent on the other side. So yeah, we were actually spoilt on that trip, so I can't imagine very many bus rides living up to that experience. Here's some of the tourist boats that I'm suggesting we should go on. They're all tied up now. That one's the Marco Polo, and yes, another Britannia. So this one's the Britannia Jet Submarine Vision. So you go down below, it's actually got glass windows at the bottom, so you can actually see what's going on in the sea. We have been on them before. I think it's time. I've never done a video on one, so it is time. Just out there, there's lots of spaces, so I'm guessing there are some boats already out and not yet returned. They'll be back in later. There's the police turning round there. So now you've got a better view of the other Britannia, the P&O cruise ship Britannia, which is in the distance there. And what time have you got?
No. It's changed.
It's got such a complicated watch, you can't tell the time on it.
It doesn't say, does it?
It doesn't tell you the time, it only tells you how many steps. So I'll have a look at my...
Screen?
It's 13 minutes past 7 at the moment, so it's still nearly an hour. So that's not going to move anywhere yet. I'm hoping we're in a position where we can actually video it by the time it does start to move out. If you will like your trips a little bit faster, this is a speedboat. And if you prefer to go under sail, there's the magic of the sailing catamaran there. But you can see there's a few gaps here, so some of the boats are not in port at the moment.
Some go out at night, don't they, as well?
Yeah, some night sailing. There's been a bit of concern about where some of the boats are going and the noise that they make. They're like mobile discos, some of them. And if they're moored near to a residential area, it can be quite disturbing at whatever hour of the night or morning they're doing it. And we had quite an experience our last night in England. We went for dinner to a restaurant on a lightship. So the restaurant's referred to as the Lightship, and it was in Gosport. Really nice, beautiful menu. It's not fairly limited menu, but
Moving as
enough
well.
choice there. And
It was moving like that, wasn't it?
it was moving a little bit. Yeah, there's a few creeks, so we were actually on the water. But every dish was beautifully presented and delicious.
Very nice.
So it's something we were really impressed by, and Laura and Nick were both impressed. The boys too. If you've watched the video, or if you haven't watched the video really, I suppose, the boys had a seafood platter, which I'm guessing a lot of teenagers might just turn their nose up. But Charlie and Ollie, well, they're pretty adventurous in their food. Charlie, his favourite type of food actually is sushi. So having a seafood platter is really just an extension of that. This seafood platter included half a lobster, lots of prawns, king prawns, and various shellfish. Oysters. And well, they really like to get stuck in, so they were given all the tools that you have when you get a seafood platter. So things for cracking the claws open, things for digging into the claws. And well, they had a lot of fun doing it, made a mess. Actually, they didn't make too much of a mess on the clothes, I don't think,
No,
but the table was a bit messy around them. Bits of shellfish flying everywhere. There's a few people out, but I don't know, it's a lot of people out, aren't they, considering it's a Monday evening, I suppose. You get more people out on a Sunday evening maybe, or Saturday evening. But for many it is the end of the summer holidays. Many businesses do, certainly government offices as well, have the month of August as holiday time. Just a quick look over the other side of the road because the work is continuing. We've actually created a little bit of parking on the road there as well. Bus stops and parking. It's the Hotel Palma Belvedere. I seem to think they've added Palma to the name. Can't ever remember it having that in it before. I thought it was always the Belvedere. As you walk along, the boats have a tendency to get smaller. So where we came from, the boats were huge, mega yachts, and here we've got the more affordable. I think most of them are still out of our reach. Not that we would want a boat, neither of us are boaty sorts. These little quays that go out are only for the boats. They're not really open to the public. You can't walk along and have a look at the boats in the same way that you can in Puerto Portales. That's curious. There's a boat there called Leander.
Why?
Well, because Leander was a class of naval frigate, and Gosling, what's his first name? Can't remember. Anyway, great supporter of the Royal Navy, Don Gosling, always had his boats named Leander. He was an ex-naval officer, and he had a couple of really big boats down in Puerto Portales over the years, and many celebrity would be on board, including back in the day, I suppose. People like Princess Margaret would be his guests. He was a great friend of David Wickham's, who I've mentioned in some of the videos. I think I mentioned Don Gosling when we were at the Fleet Air Arm. He was one of the sponsors of the Fleet Air Arm in Yeovilton. So just coming around there, there's the Hotel Costa Azul. And the access to it is just there. And in the distance, well, that's where we've got the Cathedral, one of the must-go-to places if you come to Mallorca for any length of time. You really should go and visit our cathedral. It is a wonder of the world, in my opinion. It's a very nice cathedral. It's a big cathedral, and in the heat of summer, it's somewhere to get away from the heat. In the cool of winter, it's somewhere to get away from the chill outside. But inside, you've got wonderful architecture. And I know not all of you are religious. That's not what it's about. It's about architecture. It's about quality of the buildings. And Palma has some really good ancient monuments. And you think this cathedral is 600-700 years old, and it's still there in all its splendour. I'm supposed to be going back to a church that I've been to. One of the groups I've joined on Facebook is about the Knights Templar, and somebody noticed that I was from Mallorca and said, could I visit this particular church because there's a tomb or a plaque relating to the Knights Templar. And the Knights Templar were in Mallorca. They came here in the 13th century when Jaime was invading to defeat the Moors, and that's going to be hopefully on our agenda in the next few days, because the anniversary of that's coming up very soon and is celebrated in Santa Ponsa. It looks like there's water down here. This is quite often dry, but there's water in there today. I'll just go up to the edge so you can see the cyclists going to get wet bums, I think. Wet feet. Yeah, not often see so much water in there. Quite often this is completely dry, no water at all in here. But today, I bet that's fun. There's a lot of water there. And it's not due to the tide, which if you're in the UK, you might say, oh, well, the tide's in. It's not the tide. The tide in the Mediterranean is minuscule. It's a few centimetres, if that. This is actually, I think, just due to air pressure. And we just had a storm, which would be a low pressure over us. And I think this high water is the remains of that. That's my guess anyway. So, stepping stones through the water, bridge.
On the bridge.
I think we should go on the bridge and find a way back. See if we can find a place that will serve as a drink. Just that little bit here where they're just in the sun, just managed to get out of it. Can we go up here now? So some of the cyclists, seeing that there's such a lot of water there, they've decided it's safer to go up and down the ramp and over the bridge. And who can blame them? Right, so you can see now there's a fence here which is stopping us going in that direction, which you could at one time. So we have to go in this direction. And
What's the road here?
what used to be the crossing is no longer the crossing. So we have to carry on walking and cross further up. I see people going over the stepping stones, which we do now and again. So we've got to walk quite a bit further to get to the crossing point. Just as we're on the way, there's the Can Blanc, which those of you who watch the Palma Nova videos, we walked past Can Blanc in Palma Nova. Same company, different bar, different lounge, different cafe, but I guess a similar menu. Flashing lights. You can see now the work's extended even further along now.
Still hot in the sun.
Yeah. We'll soon cross over. We should be all right. So we've just seen two police cars go past. The one with the flashing lights was Policía Local. It's local police. The one that's just gone past was Policía Nacional. That's the national police. And then there's one other, which is one other that I know of. Might be some other secrety ones, but the one other I know of is the Guardia Civil, which is almost a military sort of police. Don't want to cross them. So here is the crossing. We've had to walk all the way down, but it still says red. As we don't know where the cars are coming from, the bikes are coming from. It's probably safer to wait. There's no buttons to press. It's just hang on while you're waiting. And just while we are waiting in the distance there's a whole wall full of graffiti. Oh, we can cross. And the Palma Council is a new government. It's a more right-wing government, which they've claimed it's one of their priorities is to get rid of graffiti. About time too, I'm sure everybody's going to say. Graffiti over there. And the plan is, well, to actually get rid of the graffiti, to paint it out or whatever they need to do, to fine people who do the graffiti. So anyone who is caught or shown to have done some graffiti, they will get fines, but the fines now are going to be increased substantially, so it will cost them a lot. And hopefully we'll get things like CCTV to help catch these people. And then they've also said if there's any new graffiti that's reported, there'll be like a 24 hours and it will be cleared within that 24 hours. That's going to be pretty hard to do, but for me that's the answer. Make it not worth doing. Make it a waste of time, waste of effort. And some of these people who do this obviously spend quite a bit of time, money and effort with the spray cans, and it'd be just make it disappear before they have any chance for glory or whatever. That's the Hard Rock Cafe in Palma. Fortunate situation. This one changed its names over the years. It was latterly emblematic, but they've obviously given up. Not worth being open. With this in front of you, who can blame them, I suppose?
It's the same with a lot of the places along here.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to find that as we make our way down. This road actually goes up to Genova, past Sonderetta. And we can cross. So the pavement is all the way along here. It's normal and people do still use it. And some places are still open. There's a gambling place, hall. Just at the top of the stairs there, Namasti, one of our go-to Indian restaurants when we're in Palma. As you can see, the graffiti is just about everywhere. Some of the bars, they've chosen to stay open. Hopefully you get a few customers coming in, get the regulars, maybe the odd passing trade like us. Heading down towards the Auditorium, which is where Little used to be involved with the shows. Not just bars and restaurants, there are shops here which could try and make a living. Anita was tempted there, but the shop was actually closed. Chap here seems as though he might have a never-ending job there, cleaning the windows when they're doing roadworks outside, which is going to be throwing up dust constantly. Restaurant and show cooking. This is Chalok. This is part of the hotel. Costa Azul Hotel. Which I believe is open. Just have clients. Yeah. From Madras, we've actually had takeaways from here. We've never sat down to have the meal, but we've had takeaways. Tasting menu, €20 per person, €40 two. Sounds like a good deal. Hotel Mirador, 4-star hotel on the front here, normally with a lovely view over the Paseo. And then, as I mentioned before, this is the Palma there. And there's a car park here, the Marquis de la Senya, which is one which we use, and Anita uses quite often actually. When we go to the Auditorium, it's the closest parking. I have to pay in there, but it's not a lot of money. I think about €5, is it? Yeah. Lots of little mini markets which do, I suppose, quite good trade when the roads open as normal, when people from the boats need bottle of water or bottle of milk or whatever, they can just pop across. Not so easy now. Not so easy at all. Companies who've got renter bikes, you feel so sorry for them. Tooties, frozen yogurt. Closed on a Monday. We have had in the past, we've had a frozen yogurt from there, which we do quite like. And this is a restaurant I quite like. It's not up Anita Street, but it's at mine. This is Sacranca, and it's basically a rice restaurant. So you get brilliant paellas in there. They do serve other food as well, but it is a paella restaurant, and it's on the first floor, so might just completely look over the top of all of this work. Not open on Monday though. Okay, mobility's moved, or temporarily closed is what the sign says. It's one of the big growth in firms over the past few years, the OK rent-a-car, but they've branched out into other things as well.
I think this bar's open at the end.
The Indian restaurant. This one's Taste of India. Always smells good when we come past here. They do a menu for two for €29.
10,000 steps.
Oh, well done, dear. I've still got a lot of catching up. And we've now got to the Auditorium, which is the big theatre here in Palma, which has big shows. Beauty and the Beast, for example, 6th, 8th December. I just saw Tubular Bells was on. Brilliant piece of music by Mike Oldfield, Victor Manuel, 15th of December. We're trying to think of a concert that could come anywhere close to the concert we went to in Malaga, which was the Andre Rio concert. That was absolutely superb, and neither of us can think of a concert that could possibly match it. So the auditorium itself is closed because of the work that's going on here, but now we get to see what this work's all about. So this is the new paving, and well, it looks pretty good at the moment. It's all looking good, and then these are all planters here, so I'm guessing they're going to put trees in there, probably palm trees, but not necessarily. So this is what the work is all about. It's all about doing this for pedestrians. They're going to pedestrianise much more of the Paseo Maritimo than was pedestrianised before. So all of this is going to be like a square, which in the past was actually a parking area. So we've lost a little bit of parking. I think we're going to lose a lot of parking. I'm still not sure how they're going to solve that issue. They suggested it's park and ride. I'm not sure how many people are going to do that. But now it's all coming together, I think. These stones, this flooring that we're on isn't quite finished, I don't think. It still needs to be the equivalent of grouted. There's a little bit of unevenness as well, I think, as I'm walking over them. They're not all totally level. There's a poor bar on the end here, look. Sort of, it's on the beach. Oh, awful. And then we get back onto the old pavement and the old paving stones. It's not complete. It's the Agora Tandoori, another Indian. That's an Indian restaurant.
That's 4 Indians we walk past on this side.
Yeah, the Agora gets really high ratings on TripAdvisor.
Another one here. This one here, 5.
Napoli. Napoli. I'm guessing it's Italian. When I'm looking at TripAdvisor, I start looking at the reviews, and it's getting 5-star here, 5-star there, whatever restaurant it is. But then when you look at how many reviews the particular person who's given 5 stars, a lot of them, it's only 1. So you've got a particular restaurant, and you go down, and they've got 50 people who've given it 5 stars. But that's the only restaurant that they've actually given anything to, they've ever actually reviewed. And that makes me suspicious. And I think TripAdvisor needs to take a bit of advice and actually weight these stars that are given, so that if someone's done 10 reviews, then their number of stars is going to be more valid than somebody who's only ever reviewed 1. And if you've done 100 reviews, then we're going to guess that you're pretty good at giving reviews, or pretty consistent anyway. But restaurants that have hundreds of one-off reviews, just one person giving it 5-star over and over and over again, does make me a little bit concerned. Sorry?
To drink here.
Yeah. Well, we've stopped off at the Amchi Mumbai Lounge, the Mumbai Lounge, shall we call it? And it's good to support the restaurants on this side because they must be really struggling. Anita's got Aperol Spritzer. She's got a
Big one.
I've gone for my pint of shandy.
Cheers.
So, cheers everyone. Let's keep us going for a bit, won't it? And for both drinks, Aperol Spritzer, pint of shandy for both of them, €12.
And some crisps.
I've got some crisps as well.
And it's delicious. I haven't had one of these for ages.
I saw an article in the paper from Ibiza, and someone's drinks bill came to €99. Some of the drinks I don't know, but the one that caught me was 1 litre of Solan water, which is what we have, is €15. 1 litre of water, €15. They had 2, €30 for water. I'd want champagne for that. Anyway, we're going to get on with our drink. Cheers, everyone. So that was a really nice drink there. Nice, relaxing place to be.
Certainly go back there.
And the owner, Avi, came out. It was his son who served us. And, well, yeah, we certainly will go back there. It's just really good value for money. And if this wasn't here, it'd be a really nice place. So hopefully they can survive and make the most of it. But yeah, he's just told us there's 2 more years of this. Hopefully this side will get done, and then people will be able to walk on this side. But, I haven't even started on this pavement yet. It's a mess. You might have noticed as we walk along all the bars and normal places that would have been open, they're all shut. See, the sun's now gone down. It is getting a little bit darker now. I'm going to try and cross over. The ship hasn't gone yet. So newspaper Baltimore I was reading said 8 o'clock, and it's now nearly 8:30. Sunset time. But I'm guessing that they're going to be inspected by the authorities here, just to make sure that everything is safe before they leave. The authorities won't let them leave unless they've passed the safety checks. And the safety check that was really the one that was causing the problem was the lack of lifeboats. So the collision had caused damage to the lifeboats.
It's busy in here.
It's busy. Very busy. That's good to see, isn't it, on this side of the road on a Monday night. The Cute People Club.
Are we cute, darling?
We are cute, but I'm just not sure that's the place for us, dear. However cute we are.
Para que alcances. Porque la Mercedes
This is Canpalut. We've eaten here a couple of times. Nice to see they're very busy. So people are not put off by the view, which is great. Going to cross over here. Ice cream parlour's doing well. Now we have to cross over where they're doing all the works. There you go. This is going to photograph it to send to someone. Oh, and just over there, we've not actually got down as far as Leo's, but they've got the sign up in lights up there. And it's actually got the 2 cherries, I think, to go with it. And we've got to walk down here to get to the crossing. Take your life in your hands then. Now we can go. And Anita wanted me to point out the sky, some nice cloud formations up there. It's all very calm now. No storms, and over that side, clear blue.
This is one of my favourite places to go for a walk.
Yeah, it's a nice place to walk, that's for sure. The P&O ferry is still there. Look at that.
Lovely colours in there.
It's lovely, isn't it? Not sure how the colours come out on the sky's lovely colour, the sea's a lovely colour. Some huge boats over there at the end. As we get to the big boys of the yacht marina.
Smoke coming out the funnel.
Alright, so does that mean they're setting sail? We have seen recently a lot of these cruise liners, they stay in port all day, the engines are running all day to provide electricity, and so the smoke been coming out of the funnel all day, but this one hasn't. Not been a lot of smoke coming out. There was talk of connecting them to the grid here so that the electricity was being supplied from the island and directly then from the mainland. So I'm not sure whether that's actually in place yet.
Moon picking through.
Got the moon there. We have a disco boat. See lots of building material over the other side. That'll be the paving blocks. It will look beautiful when it's done. But, got a bit of a wait for that. Out there. One at the end is really big boat, really beautiful looking, lovely lines to it. Can't see a name. Light is really fading on us now.
Just 25 to 9.
We're almost back to where we started. Oh, the moon's looking quite good now. Probably can't see it up in the cloud. And we're back to where we started. This is the rent me boats, which are license free. You don't have to have a license for them. Well, that's a nice walk, darling.
Nice.
And time to go home. Light's fading. Thanks very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.